Friday morning. I'm glad you're up with us on this Friday morning. Where we are, though, is the Marian County Fair. I'm Julia, along with Samantha, who was in for Julia this morning, and we got Matt, and we were looking at this and trying to figure out what we're planning out for our lunchtime. I know that the food and stuff doesn't open up until 5 p.m., but if they've already let photographers in, we might as well bring us back a Polish sausage or something.
We might as well. Yeah. What a fun summertime tradition. And you mentioned there are several county fairs going on.
Oh, yeah. I think Wayne County's still open, Miami County, Bartholomew. There's a lot. We can't list them all. And there are several opening next week. We're on that march to the state fair.
What's your favorite fair food?
Ooh, the funnel cakes.
Yeah, that's mine too.
Yeah, it's so good.
You can't go wrong with the lemon strawberries on top there.
You need the both. You need the combo.
Yeah.
Especially when it's so hot outside.
Yes.
I think the line for the lemon shake-up might be a little bit long, so hopefully I got multiple stands of that. But thank you for joining us this morning. It's gonna be a hot one today. Last day of that weather impact alert, and then finally we're gonna start to cool down. Not a lot, but a little bit. We'll take any small victory we can get. Before I get into the forecast today, I do want to show you the rainfall that we had yesterday. It was all scattered. Not everyone got wet. Some of us just looked out the window and you could see the downpour off in the distance while you just baked. But we had most of the rain in eastern Indiana and also to the north and kind of southeast and northwest. To the southwest, though, Morgan County, Hendricks County, Brown County, Johnson County, we didn't get very much yesterday. But the big winner, again, yesterday was Connorsville. I think they were second or third place the day before. The Spartans have been absolutely soaked. We got soaked in western Wayne County there in Cambridge City and Centerville, just under an inch. 0.8 inches for the Golden Bears in Shelbyville. But I think overall the winner for the past 2 days might be Pendleton. Remember, they got over an inch and a half just yesterday alone. So we had some good rainfall totals while some of us had absolutely nothing. All right, your weather cameras this morning, a lot of mid-70s. Some of us have some sun, but some of us have some extra clouds. You look towards Bunker Hill. When you get towards Grissom Joint Air Reserve Base there in Miami County, we're about to get a good downpour here in a moment, but more rain chances are on the way. We're going to time out when you can see some scattered showers and thunderstorms later this afternoon and evening. In the meantime, let's get an update on the east side. Again, this has been something we've been talking about all morning long. Probably about 3 o'clock this morning, we had a semi roll over on I-465 in those southbound lanes. You can actually see when you're I-70 west, folks are coming into the city, you can see all those lights out there. The emergency responders were reporting to this, but you're looking towards the west. So these are the southbound lanes. Only one lane is open. The semi was here. They rolled it back up. They wheeled it out, but there's still a lot of debris left over from the tractor trailer itself was inside, so they're still doing a lot of cleanup. Northbound lanes are okay. We'll continue to keep a close eye on that, and also we're going to keep a close eye on these closures. Remember, I-65 North closes tonight at 9 p.m. Julia.
Thank you, Matt. A tough story breaking from the east side this morning, where police have a portion of a major street blocked off for a hit-and-run investigation.
Yeah, we're talking about Washington Street near Sherman Drive. We want to give you a live look at that scene right now. We know the victim was taken to the hospital in critical condition. We understand it's possible that that person may have been riding a bicycle. If you look closely, you can see that there on the screen. Lots of police here, this happening within the last hour or so very early on in the investigation.
Yeah, and you can see it looks like an investigator of some sort walking to that bike or that area where this happened. IMPD investigators are on the scene this morning and have been for the last hour or so. We understand that there is a search for that driver. We're working to learn more about that information, maybe a car that they believe that person, a description that they can share with us. We'll let you know how long Washington Street will be closed, but we do expect that that'll be a while as they've just started this investigation. Well, your time right now at 6:04. We're following back-to-back breaking stories. This one coming into the newsroom about 15 minutes ago, an update from a story that we've been following early this morning.
That's right. We have learned a 12-year-old is in, quote, very critical condition after a shooting in Cumberland. Police rushed over to Dunshire Drive, that's near Washington, and Woodlark Drive around 1 o'clock this morning. That's where they tell us they found that 12-year-old.
So Cumberland police are on the scene here along with IMPD. They tell us they talked to several witnesses at the scene, and investigators say that the shooting appears to be accidental and that gun was very accessible to several juveniles there. So we are checking back in for any updates on how that 12-year-old is doing, and we'll let you know as soon as we learn new information here on 13 Sunrise. In the meantime, we're also reaching out to IMPD on a separate case to see if any arrests have been made in connection with a deadly shooting at a Southside apartment complex.
Here's what we know about this right now. It happened last night around 7:30 near South Meridian and Epler Avenue. Police confirmed the victim and the suspect had some sort of prearranged meeting in that area when one of them pulled a gun on the other. Investigators say there is no ongoing threat this morning. As soon as we learn more, we'll have that for you here on Sunrise.
Your time is 6:05. Turning now to a story that we've been following for several weeks now. A judge is now accepting a plea deal in the case of a former Avon chiropractor who admitted to the sexual battery of his patients. You might remember the judge recently rejected Rock Bird's plea agreement just last month. Bird pleaded guilty to 4 counts of sexual battery against women during their treatments at Cornerstone Chiropractic. His attorneys still argue, though, that work release is not an option under the plea agreement, but the prosecution and now the judge believe it is. So this sentencing is now scheduled for August 18th. By the way, this is the 3rd sentencing hearing in this case so far.
This morning, the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office is asking for help after a police chase ended in a deadly crash. This all started yesterday morning when Sheridan police tried to pull over a driver who they believed was in a stolen car. Officers say the driver sped off before they lost sight of that car. The driver then crashed near East 1st and South Georgia Streets. And when police got to the scene, the driver had died. The sheriff's office is now asking anyone with homes or businesses that might have video of that chase or crash to call investigators.
This morning, it is business as usual again within the City County Council in Indianapolis.
A councilwoman who was reportedly voted out of the Democratic caucus is back in, and we are hearing from her for the first time. Anna Chalker joins us in studio with what Krista Carlino has to say about really a chaotic 48 hours.
Well, ladies, she says she's appreciative of the council for listening to her and her apology, and she's ready to move on from this and get back to work. Carlino was reportedly removed from the Democratic caucus pending an apology earlier this week after she called for Hogsett to resign and the council's president and vice president to step down. So this is all tied to the investigation into sexual harassment allegations against Mayor Hogsett's former chief of staff, Thomas Cook. Carlino served as the chair of that investigative committee that looked into all of this, and 13 News caught up with Carlino at a Department of Public Works committee hearing last night. When asked about how does it feel to be back in the caucus, she said she never left. And we asked Councilor Ron Gibson about all the movement within the council this week. He says this is all behind them now.
We have regained our majority in our caucus, and we're all on the same page and look forward to getting the people's work done.
Carlino did release a public apology on Wednesday. That's when the caucus released the statement back saying she is back in. So what's next for her and her position? Well, she's back, business as usual. The only change is while she's still in her committees and in the caucus, she has stepped down from her chair roles of the committee. So she's just not in charge of certain committees anymore. That's been passed on to someone else. That includes that investigative committee that kind of sparked all of this going on.
All right. Thank you for that update and breaking that down, Anna. Well, this morning we're getting a new look at just how much of your money the state spent on disciplinary defense for Indiana Attorney General Todd Rokita. Those investigations are racking up quite the bill. So the state paid 4 different law firms nearly $500,000 in total. That's according to our partners at the Capitol Chronicle. The payments are for issues from disciplinary investigations and formal ethics cases to lawsuits, all against the Attorney General. So let's break down those payments. The state paid more than $240,000 to the law firm representing Rokita in his current ethics case pending before the Disciplinary Commission. Reports show that the state made 3 other payments of $177,000, $57,000, and $15,000 to 3 other law firms too. Wasn't quite the night for the Fever here at home that we hoped for. They lost to the Sparks 85-75.
Caitlin Clark was out, you'll know, with a groin injury last night, so the Fever headed into the 4th quarter actually with an 8-point lead. They were looking okay, but the Sparks pulled away in the last 6 minutes of the game, going on a 26-9 run.
Kelsey Mitchell led with 20 points for the Fever. Ari McDonald added 14 and Aaliyah Boston behind her with 12. All 3 had double-doubles for the game.
So the Fever are back on the road tonight in the Lone Star State. They take on the Dallas Wings. Tip-off for that one set for 7:30. A friendly reminder, we are your local TV home for the Indiana Fever, and you can watch the July 3rd game against the Las Vegas Aces right here on Channel 13. That's next Thursday night. Tip-off is set for 7.
If you need any help finding these games, scan this QR code you see here on your screen. That'll take you right to WTHR.com/fever. We've made it easy for you to check the schedule of all the games that are airing here on our channel 13 and our sister station, MeTV.
And speaking of the WNBA, check this out. This morning, there is a replica of the WNBA All-Star Court at Indianapolis International.
Yeah, this design includes the logos from all the WNBA teams, plus the 19 stars from the Indiana State flag, but all in fever colors. Ooh. Yeah, All-Star Weekend comes to Indy July 18th and 19th. We're excited about that.
And while the Pacers came up short during the NBA Finals, the blue and gold are already looking ahead to next season.
Got to. The Pacers picking up 2 players during the draft last night. The San Antonio Spurs had the 38th pick for the Pacers. They selected Marquette University's Cam Jones for Indiana. Jones was a point guard for the Golden Eagles. You may remember the Pacers worked out a deal with the Spurs before the draft here.
The Pacers also picked up Talon Peter with the 54th pick. Peter played as shooting guard for Liberty University, so big welcome to them.
This morning, the defense for Sean Diddy Combs will have its turn at closing arguments. At 6:45 this morning, we'll give you a rundown of what's expected in court today and when the jury will then decide the fate of the music mogul.
Plus, this morning, the countdown is on for lawmakers in Washington to get Trump's big policy bill passed, but it's hitting a roadblock before the deadline next week. We'll explain at 6:15.